In this week's portion, Naso, among the many things that we learn, since it's the longest portion of all Torah readings in the 5 books of Moses, we learn about the Nazirite vow, this unusual religious obligation that one can take upon oneself voluntarily to choose for at least 30 days minimum to abstain from all grape products and to let one's hair grow. The idea behind being a Nazirite, the vow is called the vow of the Nazir, so one who takes the vow is a Nazirite. The idea behind that is to take upon oneself some added religious restrictions on one's life in order to focus more on one's relationship with God. By refraining from grape products and by letting one's hair grow, the idea supposedly from the Torah is that one sets oneself apart from the rest of the community and isolates oneself in a way religiously to be able to focus more on what are the true ideals of being an Israelite and later a Jew. It is fascinating to understand in the history of all 3 religious traditions of Western civilization, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, that Judaism never developed a monastic tradition. We have the Nazirite vow as possibly the foundation for such monasteries in Judaism, but they never developed because the rabbis frowned upon that kind of religious devotion. In fact, we have a classic story in the Talmud of Shimon Bar Yochai, the great rabbi who was supposedly the author of the Zohar, the great book of mystical tradition. In order to hide from the Roman authorities, he and his son stayed in a cave, buried in sand up to their heads for 12 years. When it was safe to leave the cave, their religious fervor was so strong that the Talmud says that whatever they looked at burned up in flames. And God told Shimon Bar Yochai and his son to go back to the cave for 12 more years to learn how to temper their religious enthusiasm. That serves as a focal point for the Talmud to say religious tradition, rituals, our relationship to God is not meant to be idealized in a monastery. It is meant to be lived every single day. We need to put the ideals and values of Torah and Jewish tradition into action. That is what it means to be a true Jew. It doesn't mean that the ideal Jew is not one who lives apart from the community, studying text, praying and meditating all the time. The ideal Jew is one who is able to balance religious tradition and religious ideals with everyday life. Rabbis were supposed to have a full-time job, farmer, needle maker, or some examples, as well as studying in the academy. That is the ideal Jew. And so the Nazirite vow that we learn about in the Torah serves as a counterpoint to how the rabbis understand what it means to live a Jewish life. Shabbat Shalom.